Hey guys, AC here. How you doing, fellas? Vetiver, yeah, one of the most amazing notes in perfumery, and according to Roger Dove, the most manly fragrance or most exclusively manly fragrance note. Right? We're going to talk about the most amazing vetiver fragrances that I have in my collection, and I'd also like to know what I should be buying. So, as you know, the nose is still not back in form, and I wanted to do a list of fragrances. That way I won't have to do a detailed review because slightly handicapped by my nose at the moment. But I also want to share with you all the lovely vetiver fragrances I think are worth buying. So let's start with vetiver. Vetiver is basically a very long grass, and grows wildly and naturally in India. It's an exclusively Indian ingredient. Now it's found in Haiti, somewhere in Indonesia as well, but it's native to India. In fact, the word vetiver is an Indian word. Most probably it's South Indian or Tamil word. I know some people call vetiver vetiver, like sounding it French. It's not. It's an Indian word. So it's not the long grass that is used in perfumery. The root of the vetiver plant or grass is used in perfumery. Now, this is quite an expensive ingredient, and one reason for it being very expensive is because it has not been, or people have not been able to synthesize this in laboratory. So all vetiver fragrances are natural. They use natural vetiver oil, and apparently it takes about 200 to 250 kilograms to produce 1 kilogram of vetiver essential oil. So let's start with vetiver. I've got a dry down of vetiver in my right hand, and I'll show you what vetiver actually looks like. This is vetiver essential oil. See, I've completely, I'm trying to get some oil out of it. Nothing, because it's so thick and resinous, and it's golden green in color. It actually depends what kind of vetiver is being used. If I show you, this is the consistency of vetiver essential oil. It's like honey. It's that thick. It's even thicker than honey. And the color, as you can see, is golden green in color. The actual fragrance by itself, just rub a little bit on your fingers, yeah? And it's very cheap. It's not very expensive. Do yourself a favor, get some. And the moment you smell it, you can see why the scent of vetiver is so amazing. Now, I've also got a variety which I'd like to share with you. This is basically called Egyptian Majmua. As you can see, I don't know if you can see this, this is greenish golden in color. This is basically an attar which has predominantly vetiver but other things as well. This you can get for very cheap on eBay. Try it. It's beautiful. But let's start with vetiver and the scent of vetiver. Man, vetiver, the scent of vetiver is so complex, and when you smell it, that's when you realize how complex and how versatile vetiver is. So it's slightly humid, yeah, it's earthy, it's green, slightly green, it's got a little tinge of sweetness in the background, it's hazy, it has got slight woodiness to it. It's got refreshing, like something in nature that, let's say you are living in a hot country and it's rained. The earth smells so beautiful after that rain. It's got that element of that smell. I don't know what to call it. It is just an outstanding note. Yeah, vetiver fragrances have a reputation that it's a old man's fragrance or old age pensioner's fragrance. You have to be a mature personality to wear vetiver. Those days are gone. Some people call that vetiver is basically what a barbershop fragrance will use. Those are misnomers. They are misguided information. I think vetiver is, and when you smell it, you will know it straight away. I don't have to tell you. Just get it. It will cost you less than 10 pounds to get proper high quality vetiver essential oil. Just use it on your hand. and see how it changes over time. It's so complex and so good to smell. You would really not regret buying it. So what I want to do is, I want to share with you the top-notch vetiver fragrances that are there in my collection. Now, the first vetiver fragrance was released in 1959 and it was by Currant. And Currant vetiver, it comes in a green bottle. I've used that fragrance, although it's reformulated now, and the longevity wasn't amazing, so that's not in my list. I've left a few more vetiver fragrances, and I've picked one of each type, right? So I've got, which are, you'll see. So let's go through the list. So let's start with a vetiver fragrance, which actually uses the vetiver note as it should smell. So it's not corrupting this actual fragrance of vetiver with mixing other notes. Yeah, it's not a collage. It's basically dependent on vetiver, and it actually augments the beauty of vetiver. Vetiver also has this lemony tinge to it. It emphasizes, it augments the lemony bit and creates a magical fragrance. Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver. Alright, what it does is it creates this amazing, sophisticated, clean, elegant fragrance centered around vetiver. There's nothing grey about it, mate. This is beautiful, crisp, white linen shirt type fragrance. Yeah, this is a daytime fragrance. You wear this to office. It's got tremendous amount of sophistication, cleanliness. You know, it's a clean fragrance, beautiful. So just in case I forget, I've noted down the kind of notes that have been used. So two notes that support this is iced lemon and grapefruit. It comes in two versions. I've got the EDT because I like the EDT more. There's also an EDP version which is slightly, slightly soapier and slightly darker. This is bright as day. Yeah, and the vetiver note in this one really reminds me of the vetiver note in Creed's original vetiver. That's why I don't own it. Creed's original vetiver is probably 4 times more expensive than Tom Ford. I love this one, guys. This is, if you want to start your journey with vetiver, go with this, because this is the closest to how the real vetiver smells like, with citrusy bits. Outstanding, beautiful fragrance, but not very interesting because it stays linear. But as I said, if you want to enjoy vetiver, this is it. Next on my list is, again, a fragrance that is known in the community for its absolute brilliance. There are 3 of these. I own 2 of them. It's the Encre Noir trilogy. Yeah, I do not own the original Encre Noir, but I own the Sport and the Al Extreme version. This is my favorite. Why? Because this is a gentle giant. Encre Noir is famous because it's so different than other vetiver fragrances. It has this dark, gothic, inky note. This fragrance also has this inky vetiver. Look at the color. Does it remind you of the the attar I showed you, which is a vetiver based attar? It's golden green in color. This one is kind of dark green in color. The vetiver in this one has this aqueous nature. I told you right at the start, vetiver has this dampness to it. It's not as dry as other woody fragrances. This one has this aqueous nature to it, but it's at the same time earthy and dusty as well. Yeah, the kind of notes on this one, vetiver combined with citrus and grapefruit. I'm having to write down because I can't spray and smell. My smelling ability is impeded at the moment. But as you can see, you know, cypress essential oil, if you've smelt it, you'll know it's a very complex, rich, earthy, woody kind of a scent. It combines the earthy woodiness with grapefruit. Grapefruit, the beautiful, sprightly grapefruit. I think this is one of the most inexpensive and beautiful vetiver fragrances money can buy. Right? So save your bucks on buying different types of vetiver. Get this. This will give you so much satisfaction. It has got tremendous longevity. It has got tremendous performance. Fantastic vetiver fragrance. Next on my list is a fragrance which is an absolute personal favorite of mine. It's a dumb reach for me for daytime when I'm wearing a nice suit and I'm going into important meetings, or even if I'm hanging out. has to be a beautiful sunny day, and I really reach out for it. Can't resist it. In my opinion, it's one of the most wonderful, fantastically created vetiver fragrances. Bal d'Afrique. The concept of this fragrance is to create an amalgamation of French culture and North African culture. This fragrance has notes like teguettes, yeah? It has black currant, it has buchu, which basically has a black currant-like smell. Vetiver, obviously, fantastic vetiver. The execution is just supreme. One of the best vetiver fragrances. If you want niche quality vetiver fragrance, try Bal d'Afrique. You just can't beat it. Now let's look at a dark vetiver fragrance. And I'm not talking about Encre Noir. I'm talking about a fragrance which doesn't get a lot of talk in the community. I'm talking about a house that doesn't get a lot of talk. It is Jovoy. And the name of the fragrance is Private Label. Man, this fragrance is the darkest vetiver fragrance I've come across, guys. This is unapologetically masculine. This is don't mess with me fragrance. What it has is patchouli. Strong patchouli. Labdanum. And combined with a superb, earthy, woody, dry vetiver, right? Vetiver doesn't even come into play till about 3 hours, yeah? The performance on this fragrance is absolutely astronomical. You go 3 sprays, you'll fill up the room, guys. Longevity is at least 14 hours. It has other creative notes like papyrus. This house, guys, doesn't get a lot of talk, and it breaks my heart because I've got about 3 fragrances by Jovoy, and each one of them is an absolutely monster performer, and it's so complex. It's a niche house. It's a true niche. The complexity of their fragrances is just earth-shatteringly wonderful. I wish and I hope that this house gets a bit of attention because it deserves it. And I'll be featuring, in my channel, I'll be featuring more of their fragrances. But when it comes to masculine, dark vetiver, you can't beat this. It's got a very tarry, burnt sort of an undertone as well when you first spray it. This fragrance becomes even nicer after about 3 hours. And as I said, performance is astronomical. Can't beat Private Label. It is stunning. Since we are on the subject of masculine vetiver, let's talk about another very masculine woody vetiver. It's actually called Woody by Rasasi. Cheap as chips, but what a performer. Guys, summertime, don't wear this in winter or cold weather because it really smells like freshly cut log of wood. In fact, when you first spray it, it actually smells like a freshly cut log of cedar wood. And that's what this has got. Oodles and oodles of cedar combined with vetiver and some sprightly citrus note just to liven things up. Solid performer, guys, solid. This is one of the most amazing woody vetiver scents you can buy for not too much money. Yeah. And in terms of projection and performance, powerhouse. Yeah. No matter what kind of hot climate you live in, try this. Superb performance. Lovely fragrance. Again, I've done a full review of this fragrance as well. As you can see, I love vetiver, and I've done 4 reviews of vetiver based fragrances. Out of 5 I've showed you, I've reviewed 4 of them. Detailed review. So, let's talk about a vetiver fragrance which is just so beautiful. The word is beautiful. That you'll be mesmerized by the grace and beauty of this fragrance. It is one of the most amazing vetiver fragrances I have in my collection. Once you apply it, once you smell it, you will become an abject fan. There will be no doubts in your mind that you want to wear this vetiver. It is an Amouage, and it's Dia, right? It is so fantastic, guys. It's so beautiful, and it is so unique. There's only one fragrance I've smelled, and that's even more expensive than an Amouage. It is by Guerlain, and I think it's called Saint Lupin Mondi, right? That's the only fragrance which smells like this. There's another cheapie which I've discovered recently. I'll do a review, comparison. It gives you vibes of Dia, but Dia is unbeatable. what does it have? It uses some notes which are very rarely used. It uses peony, plum, vetiver, orris root, ylang ylang. So as you can see, there's a lot of floral emphasis on this fragrance. And this is unisex, yeah? But what it smells like is a very creamy, attractive, incensey, smoky vetiver. It's smooth, elegant. You know, you wear this fragrance, you feel as if you are extremely sophisticated. Yeah, it was my scent of the day. I wore this. People slag this one, lack of performance. It doesn't have any lack of performance. I've been wearing this all day, and whenever I was driving back, and whenever I moved while driving, whenever I was turning, I could smell. So it gives you a full day's longevity. What it lacks is projection. It doesn't go out and project, but you can counter that by spraying it on your shirt. In fact, you spray it on your shirt. This is $1 million, guys. Do sample this, you will see for yourself. One of the most underrated amouages, but beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So, moving on. The jewel in the crown. In my opinion, the best vetiver fragrance ever made. And it's a modern marvel. It is by Hermes Bel Ami Vetiver. In my opinion, the best vetiver fragrance I have smelt. If you know of anything else, let me know. But the ones I think I've smelt are Vetiver Extraordinaire by Frederic Malle. I've smelt Vetiver Extrait by Roger Parfums. They all focus on the actual note of vetiver, which, you know, grey vetiver does for me. But what this does is just pure magic. It uses leather, styrax, vetiver, elemi, cardamom, so it's spicy, nutty leather with resinous quality, and then it mixes with vetiver. Absolutely creative brilliance. Bel Ami, as you know, by Hermes, is known as a classic. Yeah, some people would give Bel Ami 10 out of 10. I would as well. This is a 10 out of 10. Yeah, the vetiver note in this one has been executed to such perfection. When you smell it, the moment you apply it, you will instantly fall in love with it. It's a manly leather with slightly sweet hint of vetiver, sweet hint to the vetiver, because vetiver has a slight bit of sweetness to it. It's got this effervescent quality, the greenness. Elemi pronounces it a bit more. So it's such an elegant, such a manly leather-based vetiver fragrance, which I think is outstanding. Yeah, sample it, you'll see for yourself. That brings me to the end of my list. So I've featured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vetiver fragrances. Each one of them are different. The idea of this video is to give you a list where you don't repeat the same kind of fragrance. Yeah, you just need one standard reference vetiver. It could be Guerlain vetiver, it could be Tom Ford's Grey vetiver, it could be original vetiver. Just go for one. Then try and mix vetiver with other ingredients. As I said, you know, there's a leather-based vetiver, there's a floral, fruity-based vetiver, there's a patchouli-based manly vetiver, there's a fluidy vetiver in Encre Noir, there's a fruity vetiver in Bal d'Afrique, and a woody vetiver in Woody Rasasi. Hope you like this list. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.